Welcome to the 2022 Crime Writers of Canada Awards of Excellence. The annual awards recognize the best in mystery, crime, and suspense fiction and crime nonfiction by Canadian authors. First presented in 1983, the CWC Awards of Excellence has grown from Best Crime Novel to a total of 10 categories, including the introduction of the new Whodunnit Award for Best Traditional Mystery. Before we begin our presentation, Crime Writers of Canada would like to take a moment to thank the 30 volunteer judges who are from a variety of backgrounds across Canada for their time and commitment to making the awards possible. To start our presentation, here is a message from the Crime Writers of Canada Chair, Judy Penn-Shelluck, who will also present the Grand Master Award.
Thank you. I've had the honor and privilege to serve as Chair of Crime Writers of Canada this past year. As such, I serve as the Chair of the Awards Committee. It is through the work of the current and past committees that the awards have grown. So I would like to start by thanking my fellow committee members for their hard work. Jane Bernard, Jane Burfield, Madeline Harris-Callway, and Marion Misters. I would also like to thank our jury selection committee. Instead of one jury chair finding all the judges, we have a team of 6 authors representing different regions, genders, and ethnicity to find qualified volunteers that reflect this diversity. On behalf of CWC, I'd like to thank Hyacinth Miller, Jane Burfield, Dave Butler, Gwen Martin, Gary Ryan, and Bill Sains. At the heart of the awards, bringing plans to fruition and keeping everything on track is our awards manager, Ludwika Buda. It is largely due to her efforts that we have this awards video to present. Supporting Ludwika's efforts, as well as coordinating CWC's other programs, is Executive Director Alison Bruce. Together, they keep the wheels of the CWC turning. New to the team, we have Eric D'Souza, who has been coordinating our webinar series and is now managing our social media. Thank you, Alison, Ludwika, and Eric. This year, in celebration of CWC's 40th anniversary, we have independently published a members-only multi-author anthology titled Cold Canadian Crime. As chair of the anthology committee, I would like to thank everyone who submitted a story, as well as my fellow committee members and independent judges. Ludwika Buda, managing editor, Winona Kent, vice chair, Alice Baena, Susan Daly, Zaina Gordon, and Lorna Poplak, and our judges, Alison Dorr, Lori McMulkin, and Katrin Semensky. This concludes my term on the CWC board. During my time here, I have worked alongside many dedicated and talented individuals. Thank you one and all for making this last 5 years so meaningful. And now, as the awards chair, I have the great pleasure of presenting this year's Grand Master Award recipient. The Grand Master is selected by a jury chosen by the Chair of Crime Writers Canada with advice from the board. The award is presented biannually, alternating with the Derek Murdoch Award. The 2022 Grand Master is Louise Penny. Congratulations, Louise.
In 2005, Louise Penny's first novel, Still Life, introduced Chief Inspector Armand Gamache and a cast of eccentric and engaging characters inhabiting 3 pines in Quebec's eastern townships to the world, and the world embraced them. Still Life won the New Blood Dagger Award in the UK, along with the Arthur Ellis, Dillis, Anthony and Barry Awards. Over the 16 novels that followed, Louise fast became an international bestseller, and in the process won or was nominated for even more awards, including the Agatha, Macavity, Nero, and Edgar. During this time, Louise also became a frequent guest at crime writers' conventions around the world, and her warmth, intelligence, and enthusiasm made her a welcome ambassador for Canadian crime writing. Though Louise's books often have the charm and mystery of a golden age novel, they don't shy away from showing the darker side of life. Her latest Gamache novel, The Madness of Crowds, debuted at #1 on the New York Times, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Globe and Mail, and Toronto Star bestseller lists, and was chosen as one of Amazon's best books of the year. Left Bank Productions are presently filming the series for television, starring Alfred Molina. Her most recent book is State of Terror, written with 2016 U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton. Needless to say, it's another bestseller. And now, a message from Louise Penny.
I want to thank the Crime Writers of Canada for this astonishing honor. I am overwhelmed and thrilled, and especially not simply to be recognized by the Crime Writers of Canada, which is such an important organization, but to join this group of writers, Howard Engel, Eric Wright, Gail Bowen, who is so supportive and so gifted, and of course the remarkable Peter Robinson, who is not only one of the best writers in the world today and recognized as such, he is generous and kind and thoughtful. And I am fortunate to count him as a friend. And as just a quick example of one of the things that he did was it became clear to him that Poison Pen in Arizona didn't have a space for me and my new book to hold an event, but he had one coming up. And he got in touch with me and he said, come on down, share the stage with me. And that is something I've never forgotten and never will, and hope I do for others as well, inspired by Peter, inspired by these people. And I think that's one of the things that distinguishes these four people. It's not simply the amazing quality of their writing, but the quality of their characters. This is a great time to be a Canadian crime writer, great time to be a Canadian crime reader for that matter. And I am so proud to be a member of the CWC, to be a Canadian, to shout from the rooftops that Canadian writing is worth reading. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank you for your friendships. And that's one of the things I wanted to mention to emerging writers. I thought the great gift and dream was to have a book published, which of course was. What I hadn't expected was that something equally important were the friendships I would make, the other writers, the booksellers, the readers. And those are the things that last, and those are the things that today I am thinking about and remembering with great gratitude. Thank you for this. Oh, and I also wanted to show you my Arthur Ellis, For Still Life, the first book. Thank you.
Thank you, Louise Penny, and congratulations on being chosen as the CWC 2022 Grand Master recipient. And now, Crime Writers of Canada is pleased to present the 2022 Crime Writers of Canada Awards of Excellence in Canadian Crime Writing. For unpublished works, the finalists for Best Unpublished Manuscript, with a $500 prize sponsored by ECW Press, are Deli Fromm, The Strength to Rise; Pam Eisfeld, Captives; Renee Lennon, Elmington; Katie Mack, Ken's Corner; Mark Thomas, Part-Time Crazy. And the winner for Best Unpublished Manuscript with a $500 prize sponsored by ECW Press is Renee Lennon, Elmington. Overall, the judges commented on Lennon's writing style, calling it very engaging, and stated that Elmington had great dialogue. One judge remarked, "Great dark humor and social commentary, and well written." Congratulations, Renee Lennon. And now presenting the award categories for works published in 2021. Our first category, Best Crime Short Story, sponsored by Mystery Magazine with a $300 prize. The finalists are Pam Barnsley, What Can You Do? Ellery Queen, Mystery Magazine. Hilary Davidson, Weed Man, Ellery Queen, Mystery Magazine. Elizabeth Elwood, Number 10 Marlborough Place, Ellery Queen, Mystery Magazine. Charlotte Morganti, All My Darlings, Mystery Magazine. Melissa Yee, Dead Man's Hand, Alfred Hitchcock's Mystery Magazine. And the winner for Best Crime Short Story, sponsored by Mystery Magazine, is Elizabeth Elwood, Number 10 Marlborough Place, Ellery Queen, Mystery Magazine. The judges had this to say about Number 10 Marlborough Place. This story resonated long after we read it. The first sentence immediately puts us in the right time and place, and the vivid but not overstated details reinforce the setting. The author adds just enough outside the main story details, little drops until you realize you're ankle deep. Snippets of crime scenes interspersed with Christmas life build tension and create an intriguing balance of light and dark. Layer after layer is exposed, perfectly paced, and with a satisfying twist at the end. The point of view remained consistent, and young Clive was a fantastic way into the story. It's not easy to get inside the mind of a child and make the words sound like an actual child's thoughts, but this author managed it well. The characters were believable, and their speech authentic. We found the conversations between Nan and the mother about the goings-on of the town one of the better uses of exposition of all the entries. Congratulations, Elizabeth Elwood. For Best Crime Novella, sponsored by Mystery Magazine with a $200 prize, the finalists are Marcel Dubé, Identity Withheld, Falcon Ridge Publishing. Brenda Gale, Murder in Abstract, a Charlie Hall Mystery, Book 5, Bowstring Books. Wayne Ng, Letters from Johnny, Guernica Editions. L.V. Simons, Not So Fast, Dr. Quick, Ellery Queen Mystery Magazine. And the winner for Best Crime Novella, sponsored by Mystery Magazine, is Wayne Ng, Letters from Johnny, Guernica Editions. The judging panel had this to say about Letters from Johnny. Letters from Johnny is a very well-written and engaging mystery with a unique way of storytelling through the eyes of a 10-year-old boy writing letters. The author, Wayne Ng, does a marvelous job of capturing the voice of the boy, something that is very difficult to do. He has developed a very likable and fully formed youngster, complete with the motivations and feelings one would expect in a 10-year-old. This winning novella captures the reader's attention from the get-go and keeps the reader fully engaged and in suspense until the very satisfying ending. Congratulations, Wayne Ng. For Best Juvenile or YA Crime Book, Fiction and Nonfiction, sponsored by Shaftesbury with a $500 prize, the finalists are Karen Bass, Blood Donor, Orca Book Publishers. Rachelle Delaney, Alice Fleck's Recipes for Disaster, Puffin, Canada. Sherry Dimmeline, Hunting by Stars, Penguin Teen. Kevin Sands, The Traitor's Blade, Aladdin, an imprint of Simon & Schuster. Jordan Taylor, Don't Breathe a Word, Harper Teen, an imprint of HarperCollins Publishers. And the winner for Best Juvenile or YA Crime Book, Fiction and Nonfiction, sponsored by Shaftesbury, is Kevin Sands, The Traitor's Blade, Aladdin, an imprint of Simon & Schuster. The judges had this to say about The Traitor's Blade. The Traitor's Blade is a well-crafted novel set in 1666 London, England. The style and language create an immersive atmosphere of the time, while also being accessible to the modern reader. Historical elements were educational without interrupting the flow of the story. The fully developed, endearing characters and many twists in the plot were compelling, creating a fast-paced and exciting read. Puzzles, codes, and riddles were a main component of the story and were simply and clearly explained. The references to events in previous books are deftly handled, giving the reader enough information without actively promoting those earlier books. This thoroughly enjoyable novel will appeal to a wide age range of readers. Congratulations, Kevin Sands. Up next is our French category. For Best French Crime Book, Fiction and Nonfiction, the finalists are Roxane Bouchard, Le Murmure des Acapiques, Libre Expression; Marc-André Chabot, Dis-moi qui doit vivre, Libre Expression; Guillaume Morissette, Conduite dangereuse, Saint-Jean; Patrick Sénécal, Flow, Édition à lire; Richard Saint-Marie, Stigmates, Édition à lire. And the winner for Best French Crime Book is Patrick Sénécal, Flow, Édition à lire. In Patrick Sénécal's Flow, the narrative explores the dark side of life behind closed doors for a seemingly normal family, as the early effects of the pandemic, only just beginning to unfold in the background, root the story firmly in recent times. An alternative approach to the familiar police procedural sees the events surrounding a terrible crime recounted through the words written by an 8-year-old child in her diary. But all is not as it seems. Behind the disarming simplicity of young Florence's words lurks a startling reality. Her world, in her eyes, is tainted by a sense of justice that obeys a logic all her own. So when things inevitably go awry, she's determined to take her destiny back into her own hands. Patrick Sénécal makes masterful use of childhood as a sacred symbol of purity and innocence, and casts an incisive eye on the human psyche and its darkest of shadows, keeping readers dangling over a chasm of suspense until the last chilling page. Congratulations, Patrick Sénécal. For our Nonfiction Category Award, also known as the Brass Knuckles Award for Best Nonfiction Crime Book, sponsored by Simpson and Wellenreiter, LLP, Hamilton, with a $300 prize, the finalists are Sarah Berman, Don't Call It a Cult, Viking Canada; Aaron Chapman, Vancouver Vice, Crime and Spectacle in the City's West End, Arsenal Pulp Press; Catherine Fogarty, Murder on the Inside, The True Story of the Deadly Riot at Kingston Penitentiary, Biblioasis; Nate Hendley, The Beetle Bandit, Dundurn Press; Lorna Poplek, The Dawn, The Story of Toronto's Infamous Jail, Dundurn Press. And the winner of the Brass Knuckles Award for Best Nonfiction Crime Book, sponsored by Simpson and Wellenreiter, LLP, Hamilton, is Nate Hendley, The Beetle Bandit, Dundurn Press. The judges had this to say about The Beetle Bandit. The Beetle Bandit is an engaging and fascinating read on many levels. On top of the writing being excellent, the story is a universally human one at its core. Not only did the author cover the true crime aspect of 24-year-old Matthew Carey's 1964 crime spree, it also covers mental health, gun laws, and whether or not the death penalty changes anything. Hendley moves the reader smoothly and without prejudice alongside both the massive manhunt and Carey himself. Even more interesting, he skillfully attempts to give the reader a view of Carey's mental environment, both in his mental health problems and his intelligence. This left us wishing Carey got the help he needed at the time, instead of leaning into a tragic and deadly life of crime. The Beetle Bandit may cover a crime committed in 1964, but the themes transcend time, making this book a must-read for this decade as well. Congratulations, Nate Hendley. For Best Crime First Novel, sponsored by Writers First with a $500 prize, the finalists are Ashley O'Drain, The Push, Viking Canada; Fiona King Foster, The Captive, HarperCollins Publishers; Byron T.D. Smith, Windfall, a Henry Lysick mystery, Shima Kun Press; Catherine Walker, All Is Well, Thistledown Press; David Whitten, Seven Down, Rare Machines, an imprint of Dundurn Press. And the winner for Best Crime First Novel, sponsored by Writers First, is Ashley O'Drain, The Push, Viking Canada. The judges had this to say about Ashley O'Drain's debut novel. From the outset, The Push, Ashley O'Drain's debut novel, leaves the reader squirming in their comfortable reading chair. Originally styled and beautifully crafted, The Push explores the meaning of motherhood and the innocence of childhood, twisting the two ropes into the perfect thriller. O'Drain artfully weaves a haunting, uncomfortable, and utterly absorbing tale, with a constantly building and pervasive sense of dread that becomes so overwhelming, at times you put the book down. The story's grip continues well beyond the last words on the final page. Congratulations, Ashley O'Drain. And now, for the final three category awards. For the Howard Engel Award, for Best Crime Novel Set in Canada, sponsored by the Engel Family with a $500 prize, the finalists are C.S. Porter, Beneath Her Skin, Vagrant Press, an imprint of Nimbus Publishing; Kathy Ace, The Corpse with the Iron Will, Four Tales Publishing Limited; Alice Walsh, Death on Darby's Island, Vagrant Press, an imprint of Nimbus Publishing; Sam Weeb, Hell and Gone, Harbor Publishing; Kevin Major, Three for Trinity, Breakwater Books Limited. And the winner for the Howard Engel Award for Best Crime Novel Set in Canada is C.S. Porter, Beneath Her Skin, Vagrant Press, an imprint of Nimbus Publishing. The judges had this to say about Beneath Her Skin. Beneath Her Skin is set in rural, coastal Nova Scotia, near the site of a former school for orphaned and abandoned children. When the first in a series of gruesome murders occurs at a community target shooting event, City Detective Kess Morris arrives to investigate the crime. Her abrasive nature results in conflict with members of the local law enforcement, but her uncanny ability to get beneath the skin of killers helps to solve the crimes. This book creates a powerful, menacing sense of place that amplifies the author's skilled depiction of how each character views the murders from different perspectives. The shocking conclusion leaves readers with a disturbing feeling of compassion for the antagonist and the unsettling sense that somehow we are all complicit in what drove the killer to act. Congratulations, C.S. Porter. For CWC's newest category, the Whodunnit Award for Best Traditional Mystery, sponsored by Jane Doe with a $500 prize, the finalists are Candace Jane Dorsey, What's the Matter with Mary Jane? ECW Press. Alice Bina, Three Dog Night, Cairn Press. Jackie Elliott, Hell's Half Acre, Jaffe Books. Catherine MacDonald, So Many Windings, At Bay Press. Vicki Delaney, Murder in a Teacup, Kensington Publishing. And the first winner for the Whodunnit Award for Best Traditional Mystery is Candace Jane Dorsey, What's the Matter with Mary Jane? ECW Press. The judges had this to say about What's the Matter with Mary Jane. What's the Matter with Mary Jane by Candace Jane Dorsey is a contemporary take on the traditional mystery genre. The nameless protagonist is irreverent, smart, and funny, and the other characters are diverse and interesting, including Bunnywit the cat, who tries to give warnings but seldom gets listened to. The reader is kept engaged throughout the story with snappy dialogue, clever footnote jokes, wordplay, and wry observations of modern youth culture. Dorsey manages to write with humor while remaining sensitive to serious issues like grief, gentrification, and privilege, as well as how privilege might best be used for the greater good. The mystery itself unwinds as it should with information crucial to the solution sprinkled throughout, eventually arriving at a satisfying though bittersweet conclusion. Our judging panel comprises three very different sets of life experiences, but we each connected with and enjoyed this unique sleuth and her cat, and this story, making it a worthy winner of the Whodunnit Award for Best Traditional Mystery. Congratulations, Candace Jane Dorsey. This brings us to the final award category to be presented. For Best Crime Novel, sponsored by Rakuten KOBO, with a $1,000 prize, the finalists are Linwood Barclay, Find You First, William Morrow, an imprint of HarperCollins Publishers, Danielle Calla, Lost Immunity, Simon & Schuster, Dietrich Kaltis, Under an Outlaw Moon, ECW Press, Shari Lapina, Not a Happy Family, Doubleday, Canada, Roz Ney, The Hunted, Simon & Schuster. And the winner for Best Crime Novel is Dietrich Kaltis, Under an Outlaw Moon, ECW Press. The judges had this to say about Dietrich Kaltis's Under an Outlaw Moon. This book is a story of injustice and survival, intolerance and love, all set in the Dust Bowl of 1930s Kansas. Dietrich Kaltis has mastered his craft, taking the reader on a spellbinding journey in a slow and deliberate way. We are transported to a time when life moved at a much different pace, but still held the same challenges for those who were not well off, who lacked family, career, or connections. These people are simply trying to survive as best they can, with the odds stacked against them. We feel sheer admiration for the way the characters cope with what life throws at them. Their sometimes very bad decisions make a story that is a pure pleasure to read. As in many crime novels, there is sex, violence, bigotry, hatred, scheming, and a longing to be heard and understood. Under an Outlaw Moon more than satisfies the reader on all counts. Kaltus has given the characters, setting, and plot the kind of texture rarely seen in a modern true crime novel. The reader feels the dryness of the Kansas Dust Bowl, smells the sweat in the heat of the day, despairs at the unfairness of life, and aches with Benny and Stella for the love they have but cannot keep. Congratulations, Dietrich Kaltus. This concludes the 2022 Crime Writers of Canada Awards of Excellence. Crime Writers of Canada would like to congratulate all finalists and all the winners. Crime Writers of Canada offers sincere thanks to our award sponsors: Rakuten KOBO, ECW Press, Shaftesbury, Writers First, Simpson and Wellenreiter, LLP, Hamilton, Mystery Magazine, Jane Doe, and the Engel Family. Crime Writers of Canada would also like to thank Frank Kearney for announcing the shortlist and our winners' presentation, and everyone in the Canadian publishing community for making the Crime Writers of Canada Awards of Excellence a success through the years. For more information about Crime Writers of Canada and the annual awards, please go to crimewriterscanada.com.
Oh,